So I'm Emily. I'm a third-year PhD student at the University of Lincoln, and I'm studying paleontology.
So tell me a bit about that, and what is it, and what do you do within your research here?
So I'm studying macroevolution, which is big-scale evolution over a really long time period, which means I get to work with fossils, which is great.
That's cool.
And so I'm looking specifically at biological complexity. And so complexity, by the very name, is quite complex. And it's a measure of macroevolution. It's one of the first rules of evolution, that things increase in complexity over time. However, this has always been very anecdotal, mainly because people have just sort of seen it in the world. When animals first evolved, we were sort of very simple, like sponge-like, jelly-like animals, and then we've become really complex, sort of, humans or dinosaurs or things like that. So we can see that progression. But because it's been something that's always been really obvious, no one's bothered to test it. So we're now testing it. Wow. It's good to know about these things. And so it's a bit like our other measures of macroevolution. So we've got diversity, which is the number of things you've got around. So I might have 5 bunny rabbits and 7 snakes or what have you. And then you've also got disparity, which is how those things differ in shape. One's really long and thin, one's sort of round and fluffy. And then complexity is the internal difference between them all. So that can either be like the sum of the parts in a repeating structure, so like the number of backbones you've got, or it could be those backbones, how different they are in shape along your backbone. And so there's lots of different ways we can measure complexity, which leads to quite a big project. Hopefully some of it's going to turn into papers, which will be quite exciting. Because the world of literature around complexity, at the moment, while it's growing, it's becoming a really interesting area of research. It's not that big at the moment. And so like how the study of disparity took off about 20 years ago, and that's a massive part of what we do in paleontology. Hopefully complexity can do the same. And then hopefully looking to do postdocs and things like that on a similar subject later on.
That sounds really interesting. So tell me about your postgraduate experience. So how is it going? What do you like about it? And just the experience in general. How have you found being doing research?
I quite like being a postgraduate student. I like being able to take my research in the direction I want to take it. I like being able to set my own schedule around that, which is quite nice, and having a bit more control over it. I'm enjoying meeting very like-minded individuals especially in my department in the postgraduate group, which is really nice, and it's a really nice way to make friends. I'm enjoying the ability to have time to do side projects as well on things that aren't necessarily my main area of interest, but things that are adjacent, and I've sort of gone, oh, that's a good idea. I now have time to do some of that. But it's definitely a bit harder now because it's all self-directed learning. Teaching yourself things is much harder than sort of like absorbing information from lectures or practicals. So it's your responsibility. Yes,
and it's all on you, isn't it?
Yeah, which is just much slower. I've really enjoyed also the experience of being able to do a lot of demonstrating and teaching with the undergraduates. So I really like that the School of Life Sciences gives me that opportunity to do a lot of demonstrating and get really hands-on with teaching the students things that I'm really passionate about and really interested in, and I really like seeing them also get excited about the same things. So it's really nice to have that shared passion going through the different sort of stages of research, which is really nice.
No, that is really good that you've got the opportunity to be able to do that. So how did you get into that? Was it quite easy to be able to share with other students? So they're always looking for postgraduate demonstrators, and so it's sign up as you do with any job, and you just say what you know, and then they give you, they assign you to where they think you could be most helpful. So no, it's been really nice. We've done loads of different things with the graduates. We've done lots of ecology and looking at plants, and we took them fossil hunting the other week. And so being able to join in with sort of the teaching has been really nice. That's nice to get another perspective of it and another experience, I guess. And from that, how do you find the opportunities at Lincoln University?
I mean, the doctoral school puts on loads of workshops, which are there's loads of them. There's writing ones, there's sort of research skills ones, which are all very good for expanding your horizons. I know the Life Sciences Department do a lot of postgraduate training seminars as well for things more specific to biology, which is quite nice to go to. So they did lots on sort of paper writing or how to make posters or things like that. So there's lots of opportunities there, and I think it's also about which members of staff you connect with, what opportunities you seek out for yourself. So we're currently very lucky. We've had the opportunity to host a student conference here. So we've had that opportunity to develop all those skills and have the support of staff to make it happen. So I think it's what you make of it.
Going to university, you can have either two experiences depending like what you sign up for and get involved with and what you don't. So it's good that you take the opportunities to do all that. And what made you come to Lincoln University? What was it that stood out to you that wanted you to come here and carry on doing your research here? And
it was primarily the project actually that attracted me. So my supervisor, Marcella Ruta, had this project on understanding biological complexity in tetrapod animals, so it's animals with 4 legs. And I've always really loved macroevolution. And so the opportunity to go and study that for 3 years was a no-brainer. I was like, yes, of course, that's what I want to do. So that was it.
And then what would you say to someone looking to be a postgraduate researcher at Lincoln? Would you give them any advice?
I would say it's really important when you're going into postgraduate research to think not only about the university, but about your project and your supervisor. And so those are the really key things for any postgraduate researcher. So as long as you get on with all three, that's the perfect combination.
How did you find the signing up progress, like their application? How was the process of it?
I think mine was probably a bit different to most because I was applying to a ready-made project. And so I saw the advert for the project online, and so I sent my supervisor an email, got an interview, and then I'm here. So it was really straightforward. I know some people apply through different ways depending on if you're going for a master's, whether you're going for a PhD, what sort of thing you're applying for. But I think it was pretty quick and easy, yeah.
What are you hoping comes out of your research from everything that you're studying at the minute?
So hopefully we're going to be able to answer some of the big questions about how complexity works. So one of the main ones is it a driven trend? This is a really big question because in theory complexity increases even in the absence of natural selection. And so we want to know what's happening to make complexity increase in that absence. We're also wondering how it behaves in relation to like other macroevolution, things like diversity and disparity I was talking about earlier, and sort of does it correlate with any other major rules, such as we've got Cope's rule, which is that through the time and evolution of a group, things get larger. And so does it correlate with things like that? And does it occur in the same way in different groups? So do different groups behave in the same way in regards to complexity? So hopefully some of those questions we're hoping to answer, if not all of them. So
wow. No, it's so interesting, like, because every student has a different subject area, so it's really nice to hear yours. I just want to say thank you for coming today and explaining about your research and what you do and how you found the university. And hopefully it'll be really useful for students wanting to come and do research here or do a PhD with us.